Yo, Ken, thank you for doing this.
No problem.
I appreciate it. Dude, I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about the first time I met you, and it made me think about how relationships are formed with people, and how sometimes it takes time and stuff. But for you, it took no time, and I feel like you showed me kindness from the second I saw you.
Right.
And that meant a lot to me. Because when you come into a new place or somewhere, to have someone that immediately accepts you
Right.
is a big deal. So I appreciate that. I feel like one thing I've noticed too, you're great with guys. You're great with these guys.
Yeah, I feel like some of them are like my kids, and some of them are like my brothers, and
Yeah.
you know, and I've been through it, so I know what they're going through. So
Yeah.
I don't want to forget
True.
what I went through. You know.
God changed your life.
Yes, He did. Changed my life tremendously. I am blessed. It was shaky, you know, because when I first came back, I went back home and felt myself going right back down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And one of the hardest things I had to do is tell my wife is, I can't do this anymore. And if it's gonna be we're gonna keep living like this, then I can't do this.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
What was going on? You were just stuck in a.
We were living in a not good neighborhood, and it was everywhere. I mean, across the hall. That's how close, it
Yeah.
was. And so we were both starting to fall back into that same rut.
Yeah.
You know, I started with a little drinking and dabbling, and I knew. And at the age I am now, I didn't want that anymore. It wasn't like when you were 20 years old, you know?
Yeah. Dude, you've had a physical transformation that was amazing. Like, I remember seeing the picture of you when you came in and seeing you now.
Yeah.
And there's been real physical change too.
Yeah, I put on some weight. Yeah, I've never weighed this much in my life.
In a good way though.
Yeah,
Best
I mean,
way.
I don't
Yeah.
work out anymore, but I'm 62 years old, so I don't care.
You were lifting for a minute there.
Yeah, I lifted
that
for a
was
little,
fun.
but the arthritis in my hands got so bad that it was hard to hold the bar
Yeah.
with that weight. So,
Ken, you love what you do here.
yes, I love it here.
And you want to
I
continue.
feel like this is my calling. It took me to retire
Yeah.
from doing all kind of jobs to find the job that I love.
Yeah.
I love these guys.
Yeah.
Because I want them to know, especially the younger ones, you don't want to be 60 years old sitting up in here,
Yeah.
you know, having somebody tell you when to go to sleep or when you can eat. And, you know, you got to raise your hand and ask questions. Not at 60, you don't want to do that. But if you have to, swallow your pride.
Yeah. It's a good place to be if you have.
Yes, yes.
Dude, Ken, you made. That's why I'm glad I'm talking to you right now, because right now what I'm looking at is what it means to serve, and that's what God's teaching me right now.
Right.
And I think about you. You made serving look easy. You would always do things that, like, you were known for. Even if you weren't on the clock, you were always willing to help out. You'd be taking guys anywhere, any time of the day. How did it look? How do you make it look so easy? Like, do you find?
It's not. Sometimes I don't want to, but most of the time, if it's for these guys, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for them. You know, I love serving under Pastor Bill. The man's got a heart bigger than this building. You know, Pastor Bill.
Yeah.
We got the new leader who is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. You're supposed to serve.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it took me to retire to find a job. If I should have stayed in '97 when I graduated the first time.
Yeah. So you came in 1997.
'96.
96.
Uh-huh.
Graduated.
In that early, I think March of '97.
What was it like back then?
Oh, it was a lot tougher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stricter than it is now. I mean, but times change, you know. It was actually it was easy for me to fall in line with what was going on because I had just gotten out of the Army National Guard.
Yeah.
So following orders was easy,
Yeah.
you know.
I remember you telling me that.
And if I felt like if I'm not training for somebody to be shooting at me, so
Yeah.
you know, I'm fine. You know, I served in the service. A lot of people don't think the Army National Guard is serving, but I think it is.
It's serving.
Your uniform says U.S. Army on
Yeah.
it. So we were training to go to the first Gulf War, but it was over so fast we didn't get to go.
Praise God.
But yeah, thank you, Jesus, because I might not be here. The first time I went into the Navy out of high school. I was 19 years old. They sent me on the other side of the planet. And, you know, just got with the wrong guys. And got a little, I got a general under honorable conditions.
What's that?
That's not an honorable discharge, but it's a general to where it's not, to me, it's not good enough. I felt like I let my dad down.
And your dad served the country
Yeah,
too.
my dad was in World War II, in Yokohama.
And he's a
Japan.
big inspiration to you.
Oh, my dad, he's gone to be with Jesus, but my
Yeah.
dad was my hero.
Yeah.
He taught me how to be a man. I miss him. I miss my mom too, you know, and my other family that have gone, but I miss my dad because he raised me.
Yeah.
You know, he, you know, I feel like he served this country back then during World War II when to make people free over there when we weren't really free here. You know,
Yeah.
it was a bad time. He served during segregation and
Man.
you know when the military was segregated and all that. You know, so but he served because it was his country,
Yeah.
and that's how I feel. I may not agree with what they say here, but this is my country,
Yeah.
and if they asked me to fight right now, that would not be a problem.
You'd be a first in line.
First in line. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
Right now you're studying for
yes,
continued education in
yes,
the Berean, or
yeah. I'm doing the Berean also. Yeah.
So what do you want to accomplish? What's the
I feel called to teach.
Yeah.
I like teaching. Right now I'm teaching BCD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
How's
I
that
keep
going?
telling these guys, I think I get more out of it than they do.
Yeah.
You know, I like it especially because it's the new guys coming in off the street,
Yeah.
and it's, you know, they're figuring out what's it about. You know, some classes you get a little bit more feedback than others, like anger and personal rights and attitude. Those are two big classes that I get a lot of feedback from.
Why do you think you get so much feedback from those two?
Because they're learning how to deal with their anger the godly way instead of the way you deal with it out in the streets.
Yeah.
And
And what
the
does
guy-
that look like?
The godly way is, you know, sometimes you have to turn the other cheek. Just today, told someone, you know, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
Yeah.
So you have to pick and choose your battles. You know, right now with me and my wife, I've learned, it took me so long to learn, you know, why are you arguing? Yes, dear. You know, it's not, it's, I think they're not sure what they're getting into here.
Yeah.
And they come in off the streets, or maybe they come here from jail, and you're with a bunch of dudes, and you know and then if you got 30, I think we got 29 guys. You got 29 guys in a small area. Somebody's gonna bump heads,
Yeah.
but you have to learn how to do that the godly way. If I have a problem, if you have a problem with someone or you see someone doing wrong, go to them, talk to them. They don't take it then, take a dorm captain with you or take someone with you that you think they will. Then if they don't, then you take it to staff. You know, that's the godly way of handling, not, you know.
What a special thing too. And one thing that I really loved about here is that there was that conflict resolution.
Yes.
Like, there would be problems everywhere. There's problems,
Right.
but they would work on figuring it out here.
Yes. Yes.
And like that's what we were taught to do, because that's what believers are taught to do.
Yes. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's the biblical way.
Yeah, be at
of doing-
peace with each
Right.
other.
Right. Don't argue over meaningless. You know, over what is it? I can't remember what book it is. You know, senseless genealogy or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
I what
don't
you're
argue
saying.
over. In other words, don't argue over stupid stuff.
Yeah, stuff that doesn't matter.
Right. Something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know,
That is definitely a learning process, though.
Yeah. We have to learn here how to agree to disagree,
Yeah.
not making an argument, but
Because there's people from all different walks of life.
right, exactly. People from everywhere,
One of my questions for you was, how are you able to connect with all these different types of people?
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus is the key right there.
Yeah.
He's the one that brings it all together. He's the one that makes a difference.
Yeah.
If he's not involved and it's just us,
Yeah.
we're gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Out of luck.
I know, just like with my marriage, like I told you, my wife is in the program now.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful, man. I see her every Saturday. We get passes every month, She's working on her, 6th or 7th month. Getting ready to go, I think, into her 7th month. But it's amazing how God is, when I told her, and I told her that I couldn't do it anymore, and I came back here. And for all intentional purposes, we thought the marriage was over.
Yeah.
And every time I said something about coming back here, she was, I'm not going there. It's like going to jail. Yeah. And then, so I said, okay. Something said, shut up and just get everybody to start praying. And I asked everybody I knew here to pray for my wife, to pray her in. And they did during prayer, anytime. Every time they asked, does anybody got any prayer requests? I said, pray for my wife to come into the program.
Yeah. You believed that praying would change the situation.
Yes, I did. And it did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because a couple of months later, I get a phone call. Baby, I want to come into the program.
Yeah.
And I just fell out. I was crying.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of teary-eyed right now.
Yeah. An answered prayer.
She gave her testimony at this last banquet. I'm sitting out there just blubbering, man. But not sad, but tears of joy because that's what I wanted for us to be. We done served the devil enough. I want to serve God for the rest of my life. She said that people were telling her, "You got a man that wants to serve God. Why are you still here?"
Yeah.
At first she wanted to wait till the first of the year to do the holidays. Then a week later, she calls back and says, "I want to come in now."
Yeah.
Me and Griff went and got her.
On the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like maybe a couple weeks in November, probably sometime around my birthday. We picked her up that following Saturday, I think, which was December 3rd.
Okay.
So, and she's been here ever since, and she's loving it. She's she worries about getting grades on the test and everything, but it's amazing for me just when I see her and I see that smile on her face and I see that glow and because we were miserable.
Yeah.
And now I'm more in love now than if I've ever been in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that's all because of Jesus.
Yeah, it's one thing to have our lives changed, but when we get to watch someone close to us change too, then you really see it. You're like,
Yes.
oh, that happened to me.
Yes, and it brought us so much closer together, man. Every time I see her, I get a smile, I get happy.
Yeah.
That's
amazing.
it's great, We just celebrated our 21st wedding anniversary this month. The 10th of this month.
Yeah.
21 years. We've been together since 99. We've been married for 21 years.
Okay.
But she says we've been married for 20. That would be 24 if we counted, February.
Yeah.
So.
Ken, one of my favorite things about working here and being here was to have a boss who would pray before his meetings.
Yes.
And he would read a scripture. We'd have a staff meeting, and there would be a message, and I thought it was just a special thing. What's it like for you to serve under a boss like that?
I like it. I tell the guys all the time, Pastor Bill prays for everything.
Yeah.
Not going to get him to rush into a decision. He's going to pray about it.
Yeah.
And that's what, he's like a mentor for me.
Yeah.
I probably get on his nerves because I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And sometimes I make stupid mistakes. and do dumb. But, you know, he'll tell me, and then he'll, you know, and I like that. And every once in a while, I go ask him, "Am I doing okay?"
Yeah.
Because I don't want to mess this up. Never want to go back to being out there in that garbage. I don't want to do. I want to lead people to where I'm at or where I'm going, because I'm nowhere near arrived. You never arrive.
Are there things you still struggle with?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Every day, you know, the devil tries to put thoughts in your head.
Yeah.
All the time, you know. But I just I've been there. You know, we ain't doing that no more.
So you've had the opportunity to. You're saying you teach class here.
Yes.
But you've done devotions too.
Yes.
What's that like? You prepare a message.
Oh, I get so nervous. I mean, it's part of the Berean. It's called an SLR. It's a student learning requirement.
Yeah.
So you do a small devotion, and you get up. And I did it on each book. I did it. The first two books were. The first one was Christ in the Synoptic Gospels, which was Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Okay.
And it talked about, you know, I told him what that was about. That Mark was, I think, was the first gospel, and Matthew and Luke kind of used Mark to write theirs, you know. And then the second one was hermeneutics.
Okay.
I hope I'm saying it right. Hermeneutics. In
I don't know what
the
it is.
interpretation
Oh,
of scripture.
Okay.
Yeah, that was. See, I hated school when I was young.
Yeah. And now you
Yeah.
are a teacher.
Yeah, yeah, that's weird. But I didn't like it because they taught stuff that I could care less about.
Yeah.
You know, they wanted you to read Shakespeare or Moby Dick. I mean, I don't care about that.
Yeah.
You know, but this I'm passionate about. I love this. I just did the last book I just did was a survey of the New Testament.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to order the next one, which is survey of the Old Testament. Then I got those other books that you just saw
Yeah.
that Pastor Ron said about reading those. You know.
Yeah. One of the things we got to do here is like extended learning, but we would read books as a staff.
Mm-hmm.
And one that I think you and I both enjoyed was Kingdom Man by Tony Evans.
Yes. Oh, actually, I bought the Bible. I bought his commentary. I bought Kingdom Woman for my wife.
Yeah.
And I got Kingdom Marriage too. So, and that's an excellent book, that Kingdom Man.
What do you learn from that?
Kingdom
Or maybe,
Man.
let's see. Will you explain what it's like to be inspired by a man of God, but still like seek after God and not that, you know, like
Not that man.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah, it's. You see things that. You know, like when we read that book, he would explain things and they'd be like, "Oh, okay," or he would tell you something about God, and you've been through that.
Yeah.
But you didn't know what was going on until he explained it,
Yeah.
you know, and then it made sense.
True.
It's because we watched the videos. I can't remember. I know it was a saying that really hit me out of the first or second chapter. It hit me so hard. I had Miss Ellen that used to work in the office. She used to do the writing.
Yeah.
I had her put it on a hoodie
I remember that.
for me. Yeah. So it was.
Is there?
Basic-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. It was basically, you know, while we're sitting around waiting for God to fix things, God is waiting for us as men of faith to stand up and do the right thing. You know, instead of waiting for Him to fix it, we can fix it.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like there's a saying. Remember the movie G.I. Jane?
I've heard of it. I'm not
Yeah,
sure. I've seen
it had what's her name? It was a military movie.
it. Yeah.
And one of the sayings I think that was in it was, the only way that evil prevails is for good men to stand around and do nothing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
You know, and that kind of what Tony Evans said to me kind of went with that.
Yeah.
You know, while we're standing around waiting for God to fix it,
Yeah.
God is, in other words, God is wants us to man up.
Yeah.
And fix it ourselves.
I had that revelation in this chapel. There was a guy, it was just me and another guy, and he was praying up at the chapel, and he was crying, going through it. And I remember sitting back here, and I didn't want to interrupt his like intimate moment, but I remember praying to God that he would help him. And I felt this nudge. I was like, God was like, go ahead. You know?
Yeah.
And when I did, I went up and I just put my hand on his shoulder and maybe said a prayer, even in my head. I don't think I said anything out loud. And you watch that guy, how he responded. It was like what he needed when he needed it.
Right.
And I got to be this like tool from God. That was an amazing experience. Have you felt used by God?
I'm slowly learning the nudge.
Yeah.
You know, because guys will be going through like in chapel.
Yeah.
And before I was kind of timid about going up.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll be up at the altar and I can hear it. You know, you don't hear a loud voice or nothing, but you feel it.
Yeah.
You know, the nudge.
Yeah.
Go up and just put your hand on them, say a prayer. It ain't got to be loud.
Yeah.
God ain't deaf. You ain't got to scream. You know.
Yeah.
It just.
So how do you learn that? You learning this over time?
Just listening to the Spirit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Some things I can't explain.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some things I don't want to explain. I just know it's God.
Right.
You know, and I know that and I know also with this place, you know, Pastor McLean, I know this place is blessed by God. I know this is holy ground.
Yeah.
Because I've never seen someone this is filled with the Spirit like him.
Yeah.
You know, and does everything if it ain't of God, it ain't happening here.
Yeah.
You know, it's you know, this is holy ground.
Yeah.
You know, that's why I'm so glad they don't take nothing from the government, none of that.
Yeah.
Because if they do, it wouldn't be Teen Challenge anymore. You know, I don't think when Dave Wilkerson started it, he didn't want the government involved. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, that's my opinion, but I think all you need is God. All you need is to believe, and God will provide.
Yeah.
You know, I remember this place. When I was here, they gutted this building and rebuilt this chapel. The parking lot was dirt.
Yeah.
Those buildings weren't over there. Those freezers weren't there. Everything was in this building back here.
Yeah. And you've watched God just grow this
Yeah,
place.
I mean, when I came back, it was more buildings. You know, where the staff lounge is, that used to be the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, and you'd had to stand because you did everything in here. You prayed in here. You ate in here. You had class in here. You know, they had to remember the little tables in elementary school that looked like picnic tables, but they folded up in the middle and stood up on wheels like this.
Yeah.
When you were little.
Yeah.
You know, so they'd break it down in the cafeteria because it was probably in the gym.
Yep.
We had those. Yeah, we did everything in this building. You know, you had to walk. You go down there, you get your tray, go through line, turn around, and walk back up here and sit down and eat, and then take your stuff back down there.
Yeah.
So,
Man, things have changed.
and for the better. God has blessed this place because of prayer, the power of prayer. I know prayer, but what happened with my wife?
Yeah.
I never doubt prayer. Never, ever again.
Yeah, one of my things I was going to ask is faith. What has built your faith over the years?
I knew even when I slipped after I, graduated, lasted for a while, and just kind of fell away. And then I met Carolyn, not in the best of circumstances, but fell in love from the day I met her.
Yeah.
I was in love with Carol. I believe to this day, God kept us together because he knew we'd both be here at this time. That's faith.
Yeah.
Faith. My faith, I know a lot of guys that ain't on this earth no more. Died in their sin. I mean, from all the way back to high school.
Yeah.
Relatives, family, You know, I got a cousin. But
Having gone through some of your own ups and downs as far as leaving here, what's it like watching guys go through that same stuff? You watch me go through it.
I don't, man, it hurts
Yeah.
to see guys leave. No,
They become our brothers.
yeah, but sometimes you have to, sometimes they gotta go
Yeah.
so they can, because they haven't hit rock bottom yet.
Yeah.
And excuse me, it's not anything you can say. All I can do is pray for them
Yeah.
and hope, Lord willing, you get a chance to come back. And just pray, you know, have faith, you know. Sometimes in all different circumstances, it's really hard to not you gotta not judge.
Mm.
Sometimes that's hard.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get upset because things don't go the way I think they should go. And then I got to remember, wait a minute, you ain't running nothing.
Yeah.
You know, God is in control. He knows that's his kid. He know what he doing.
Yeah.
So, and then
That's
some
a
of
good
them,
perspective.
yeah, some of them go, you never see them again. You know?
That was hard for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get so attached.
Yeah, me too. I get attached. I try not to get attached until I know they're going to stay.
Yeah.
You know? But it's hard. Sometimes it's people that just as soon as they come in.
But you accepted me
click.
right away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just certain people you just click with, you know.
How do you feel about? Are you hopeful for the world right now? Knowing what you know about what God can do to people.
Yeah, I know everybody. They always talking about, you know, end times God, and I know He's coming back.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of feel like it's going to get a lot worse before.
Do you think it's gonna get worse?
Yeah, I think it's going to get a lot worse.
I just think people are dying. Let's see. I think
hope-
people want to serve, and I think people want to help other people.
Mhm.
I really do. Did I have this funny story I got to tell you? Yesterday, I got a flat tire, and I pulled into the hospital, which is where I just happened to be next to this hospital. I pulled in there, and of course, my trunk is packed full of stuff. So I got to get it all out and get the spare out, and I start changing my tire. And literally within seconds, this guy rolls down the window and he's like, "You're turning it the wrong way." I'm got the jack, you know.
Right.
And so like I turn around, I was like, "Oh, this guy's trying to be helpful." And I turn around, this guy from inside the hospital, he literally had a bandage on his neck, wearing like hospital clothes. He comes out, he's like, "Let me show you a little something."
Yeah.
And he starts doing it for me.
Right.
And then 1 second goes by.
Oh, you got one of the ones you got to crank?
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
And then another second comes by. This other guy comes up. He's like, "Listen, I work on cars for a living. You look like you could use some help."
Right.
And I took away two things from this. So, like, either one, I look like the most helpless guy in the world, or people want to help people.
Yeah, I think I saw, I don't know what show it was. Basically, most people are good.
Yeah.
You always got them. You're gonna always have those that, you know, haters. But for the most part, I think most people are good.
I just think they're primed for the message of Christ, and I think that the world is
Yeah, I
ready
think
for it.
if we get rid of the politics aspect and everybody just starts to, if everybody believes and everybody wants to just, let's please God. If we put God first,
Yeah.
everything else will fall into place. You know, don't worry about, okay, I'm a Republican, no, I'm a Democrat. No, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, and that's the only party you need to be with.
Yeah.
So that's the party. not the donkey, not the elephant,
Yeah.
or not left wing, right wing, whatever. It doesn't, I think as long as if Jesus is involved, you put him first, and all these things will be added unto you.
Yeah.
You know. It's you know.
Dude, Ken, one thing I think I learned here was structure and discipline, and how helpful and healthy that was.
Yes.
Do you have a set schedule where you are like in your word, or?
Oh, every morning. I mean, even when I'm not, I wake up almost every morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
even when I'm not working. I get up, I go do my devotion, I do my Upper U version,
Yeah.
and I have some, 2 or 3 things I do, verse of the day, then I do the prayer, then I have a couple podcasts or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
What do they call them on there? Plans.
Okay.
I do one plan. On most of it's, all of it's on leadership now.
Yeah.
I want to learn leadership because I'm leading these guys.
Yeah, that's what you
know?
are.
Yeah, we're middle. I did a podcast with Gerald Brooks talking about leading from the middle.
Yeah.
We're middle management. We have, the pastors above us.
Yeah.
But then you got the guys below. And sometimes with the pastors, these guys, the guys only show them the good.
Yeah.
But when they not here and it's in the afternoon and somebody upsets them,
Yeah.
that's when you see the real person.
Right.
They and I want to be able to lead and talk to these guys.
How do you do that now?
It's sometimes I have to step back.
You're very good with people, though.
I don't know where that comes from.
Yeah.
I feel like I want everybody to just get this.
Yeah.
I'm really with the younger. I'm really with the young guys.
Yeah.
Don't be like me, 50, 60 years old, coming back here. Get it now. You know how blessed your life will be if you get it now and live for God. These guys, they think about, women and all. It's like, remember what I told the one guy, and God ain't stopped making women. They'll be here when you get out.
Yeah. That is something that we get kind of caught up in.
Yes. And I did it.
Yeah.
I made that mistake and didn't listen to anybody here. Made that mistake and didn't listen.
Yeah.
And it was a mistake.
What do you think caused you to not listen to? Because it's talked about and people.
I can tell you, but that thing is on. So, it's thinking with another brain.
Yeah.
And
Not good.
it's the first thing that smiled and winked and then no.
Yeah.
It's not. The love I have and the woman I have now, I know loves me for just me. Doesn't want me to take her shopping or nothing.
Yeah.
Just loves me as long as I'm leading and living for Christ. I know she's right by my side.
That becomes attractive.
Yes.
That you've taken
And
on.
I think age has something to do with it too. I was young. I was here. She smiled. I smiled. Oh boy, I'm in love. No.
Yeah.
No, that's the devil trying to get you up out of here. Because if I'd have stayed, I think I'd be a pastor by now.
Yeah.
And that was my intention to stay.
Way
back then, yeah. And I let that get me up out of here.
Yeah.
So.
Man, those are.
Because they warned me.
Yeah.
Everybody here, God rest her soul. Mama Sue told me not to marry. Pastor Dave told me not to marry.
Yeah.
I don't wish any bad against that person.
Yeah.
I hope she's still living for God. But it wasn't the right thing to do. Do you know what they tell these guys when you graduate? At least a year.
Yeah.
Get yourself together first.
But you feel like you're so separate from that it's like the first temptation that you
Yes.
get to.
Yeah. See, the devil knows. I tell the guys in class all the time.
Yeah.
The devil knows he can't get you with the drugs and alcohol here.
Yeah.
So he can get you from what's across that aisle.
Gonna find another way.
Yeah, he'll get you because he knows. You see women.
Yeah.
I mean, God made them beautiful so they would be attracted.
Beautiful.
We would be attracted to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. But right now your focus is not that. Your focus is to get what you need to get so you can get your life right, so you can find you a good Christian partner.
Yeah.
Find you a good. I mean, me and my wife have been through hell and high water.
Yeah.
And God knew. He knew way before we knew that we'd be doing this right now together. And I can tell you right now, I'm so much in love with my wife, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Right now, and I know, excuse me, without a shadow of a doubt, that she loves me We love each other more now than we've ever loved each other. Because it's that 3-strand cord. And it's us wrapped around Jesus.
The 3-strand cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus is the main one. We wrapped around him.
Oh.
So, you know?
Yeah, one of my favorite verses is that it's like, I can't know the exact one, but it talks
Yeah.
about 1 and then 2 is like on.
Yeah, yeah. A 3-stranded cord cannot be easily broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a-
Or can't be broken, something like that.
Right.
And that's how I feel like we are. As long as we keep Jesus first. It's God, then Carolyn.
yeah.
You know. And then with her, it's gotta be, I've gotta love God more than I love her. That will make the love of her, me loving her better,
Yeah.
you know? Cause I can't, and I gotta be careful because I can't make her an idol either.
Right.
You know, just like I got that car and they teasing me, I can't make that an idol,
Yeah.
you know, cause I wash it a lot. To me, that's,
Care about your things.
yeah, a clean car runs better.
Yeah.
But, but it's, and it costs money, so I'm gonna try to take care of it.
Yeah.
So, but it's,
Is there a verse that you stand on?
oh, I got a couple. My life verse is Romans 12:1-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I beseech ye, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present yourself a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. So be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good and perfect will of God.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And what is it? Is it 2 Corinthians 10? I think it's 10:3-5. Though I walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh, because the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, through the pulling down of strongholds, casting down every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ.
Yeah.
You know, those two, I like those.
You said that was your life verse.
Oh, my life verse.
What does that mean?
It's the verse that I stand on.
Yeah.
Got to transform my mind.
Yeah.
You know, my wife's favorite, her life verse is Jeremiah 29:11. You know, for I know the plans I have for you, say the Lord.
Yeah.
Plans to give you the hope, plans to prosper you and give you hope of the future. You know, I think I messed it up, but you know which one I'm talking about.
I get it.
Those are inspirational to me. You know.
Are they able to change maybe an interaction you have with someone else because you're thinking about it or something? Or?
Yeah. I'll be dealing with somebody that's still thinking about trying to think like they're in the world.
Yeah.
You got to transform your mind and transform and get rid of the old you.
Yeah.
You're a new creation in Christ now. You got to
Yeah.
get rid of the old.
What do you think stops guys from being able to change? Say they come here and they're around so many good leaders and so many people of God that want the best for them. Why do you think they're unable to grasp it?
That's a tough question. You got to. It's a whole lot of things. It's. I don't know.
I just know there's a lot of hurting people.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard for people to let go of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that path. The
If it
hardest
hurt.
thing for me to do is forgive myself. I don't have a problem forgiving somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, some people I do. But
What?
then it's still easier for me to forgive them than it is myself.
Why do you feel that is?
Because I'm harder on me than anybody else.
Yeah.
You know, I've done a lot of dumb. You know,
Me too.
my dad used to say, boy, don't be dumb all your life. You know,
That's pretty
you
good.
know, use your head for something besides a hat rack. And a lot of that makes sense now. It's took a long time. It's very important for me that my dad be proud of me.
Yeah,
You know, and I feel like he's looking down, and he's proud of me now.
definitely.
I hope so. It's my dad was a great man to me. I mean, he was my dad.
Yeah, your
You know?
hero.
Yeah, that was my hero. Yeah,
Man.
not no football player or nothing. No, my dad was my hero.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
My dad, not your dad.
Yeah.
But I don't know your dad. Maybe he was
Right.
too.
Yeah. So
Huh.
yeah, I wish My pops lived to be 93.
Wow.
Yeah, good man.
I'm glad that you share the things that you do, because I think this wisdom that you've gotten over a course of your life, for someone like me to be able to hear it and look after or seek after God because of what you're saying is super powerful. And I think maybe that's what makes you a leader, is that you've always pointed guys to God. It's never been about what you've done, you know? It's always been toward upward, pointing upward.
Right, got you, because I ain't done nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
I have nothing to do with this. Because if it's left up to me, I'm going to mess it up.
Yeah.
So I know I got to get plenty counsel, ask a lot of questions,
Yeah.
get on Pastor Bill's nerves, probably. You know, but I know he's never going to say he's never not going to say what I need to hear. You know, and if I need to be corrected, then I need to be corrected.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it hurts, but I'd rather do that than do something that I'd rather be corrected by them than have God.
Yeah, you're saying you allowed
upset.
them to correct you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better that way. It's that's why God put them in my life.
Yeah.
And with the experience they have, and I know it's good. And every time he tells me something, I always get confirmation. You know, I always, And I told him the other day, I'm really getting angry because I'm sick of you being right.
Yeah.
You know, and we just laughed. It was, you know, but it's
Good problem to have.
yes. Good to have good men of God, Pastor Dave, Pastor Sam, Pastor Bill, Pastor Ron, you know, all good men of God
Yeah.
who are not going to steer you wrong. You know, I don't know if you can put this on your thing or not, but being a black man, I hate when you always have guys coming in here that want to play the race card.
Yeah.
That bothers me. I'm not dark skinned, but I'm black. But I don't think it's because race. Yeah, race does. There's some places and sometimes race is a factor.
Yeah.
Just try harder. Don't use that as an excuse. I was never allowed. My mother, everybody in my family has a college education except me. You know, both my sisters, my mom and dad, all of them went to college. I went straight out of high school into the military.
Yeah.
But they never let me use, you know, they say, you know, just, you already got one strike against you. You just need to try harder. Just like when I've told you about my feet, you know, when I was, my dad said my feet were turned almost all the way backwards.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, why didn't you get disability? Because they would tell you, not disabled.
Yeah.
You need to try harder. You know.
There was a very maybe an intimate, special moment about your feet. We did a foot washing thing.
Yeah. I don't let people. And well, my wife's helping me with that too, because when we had our last 24-hour, we went and I got a pedicure.
Yeah.
Yeah, she let me, I was, every time the woman would touch me, it's like, you know, but.
Do you feel like you got healing?
Yeah, I feel like I'm still a little sensitive. I'm very sensitive about my feet.
Will you say why, or?
Yeah, because I feel like I'm the only one that knows. They have hurt all my life. You know, they hurt right now. It's constant pain. And it's nothing that can be done about it. It's just, I know they hurt. I know why they hurt, but I'm blessed because I can walk. Used to be able to run. I can walk like a normal person. I don't, you know, the surgeries I had from like this to bringing them back like this.
Yeah.
And being able to, you know, that's why I was upset when I went out of high school. I was going to join the Army because Dad was in the Army. Yeah. And an Army doctor told me I couldn't handle Army boot camp and I wanted to fight him.
Yeah.
You know, and luckily there was a Navy recruiter right there, and he was like, "What's wrong?" Because I was so mad. I had tears coming down my face because I was disappointed. I wanted to be just like my dad.
Yeah.
And I went to the Navy. And yeah, I did get into some trouble and got a general, but I went back in and did 7 years in the Army National Guard to get an honorable discharge. You know?
Oh, so you worked towards that?
I went in to prove that I could do Army.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only 1 week in a month, but we do like 20, 30-mile hikes, you know, and train, you know, just like everybody. Not as much as regular Army. Yeah, they do, but we would be ready, and if need be, we would get called.
Yeah.
They got called a lot for this second one. A lot of National Guard and reserves got called up. So, and the uniform don't say National Guard. The uniform says United States Army.
Right.
So.
You mentioned race, and has there been a time here where someone who's come in and you've been able, as an African American man, to encourage them in a way that maybe someone else couldn't? Maybe in a way I couldn't?
There's some that I kind of lean toward. Yeah. First of all, I don't consider myself African American. I consider myself a Black American because I'm. This is my country.
Yeah.
I am an American.
Oh, okay.
So.
I didn't mean it.
No. You didn't.
I don't know a good way to put it.
No, you didn't. It's.
Right.
I just feel like this is my country.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and I'm a Black American, and but there's been a couple here that have didn't get what they thought they should, and the first thing they want to holler is, "Oh, it's because I'm Black." No.
Yeah.
No, it's because point blank. It's not because you're Black. It's because you're stupid. You're not doing it. You know, I'm not gonna. When it comes to that, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna. And he tried to influence another young man, and I had to pull him aside. Look, it's not because. Don't fall into that race thing. Yeah, things happen because you're Black. Yeah, it's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But don't let that be an excuse for you to stop trying. You know.
And you feel like your father has taught you those things that.
Yeah, my mother was more outspoken. My father was quiet. My mother, very outspoken in her
That's where you get
beliefs.
it from, huh?
Yeah, and I need to learn how to sometimes be quiet. I told my sisters, my mother died in 2020, I think, was it, wait a minute, this is 2023. No, my mother died in 2015.
Okay.
I think before Trump was elected, right? Trump.
Not sure.
But all my sisters and I laughed because they said if Donald Trump, my mom had been alive and he got in, we'd had to go to D.C. and get her out of jail because she would not have liked him.
Yeah.
And my mother was the type that everybody, the talk radios in D.C., you know, politics, they all knew my mother by first name. They knew.
Did they really?
Who wrote, when Rosa Holland called her, they knew.
You told me a story about her coming down to your school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tried to say my sister was cheating.
Yeah.
My mother.
She wasn't having it.
Mm-hmm.
How many sisters do you have?
2.
Do you have brothers?
No.
2 sisters.
I do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've seen you change.
Yeah.
What do they think about God and what happened in you?
They both believe. I think my one sister, I'm not sure. I think Linda is Catholic. I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure what religion Juanita is. I
They've
know
got
she
this-
believes in Jesus.
Yeah.
She believes in God. I think. But they're both very smart. You edit this part out. I don't want them.
I can't edit.
What do you mean you can't edit?
I'm still struggling. I don't even know how to run the camera. I barely can press play on
I ain't
there.
saying nothing. No, my sisters are very smart. So Linda, I think, is Catholic. Juanita, I'm not sure. I know she believes in God, but I'm not sure if she believes like I believe, you know.
What class are you teaching right now?
We just got done teaching anger and personal rights.
Oh, yeah.
And the next one is, it starts with an S.
What's Supernatural?
No.
That was like my favorite class.
No, man, I forgot. I just pulled the book out of the file cabinet too. Successful Christian Living.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one we're getting ready to teach.
And what does that look like? What is success as a Christian?
Following God,
Yeah.
turning to prayer, doing the right thing even when it's not, even when you don't want to do,
Yeah.
or doing the right thing when everybody else is telling you not to, and you know it's right, you know it's of God, you know. Being successful Christian, leading others to Christ.
I think one of my favorite verses is it says, though a righteous man falls 6 times, he rises 7.
Yeah.
And to me, like, that is successful Christian living too.
Yeah.
Is like getting back up. And for some reason, that's like, I've learned this way too much from
my
stumbling.
sisters say that, and even I had a cousin. When my father died, I called him, and he said, "I've always," and it shocked me.
Yeah.
He said, "I've always respected that when you were down, you were always able to get back up,
Wow.
and figure out what you needed to do to fix that." And my sisters know that, you know, they know what I've done. I'm not gonna sugarcoat or hide from you. I know I did drugs, and Bonita used to smoke weed and all kinds of stuff. I mean, y'all know.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm not gonna hide.
Yeah.
But
After seeing your father live to 93 and he was an inspiration to you, what was it like to lose him?
dude, man, man, that was, luckily I had Carolyn by my side,
Yeah.
you know, and some of the things that were going on with his wife, his 4th wife, the last time I saw my dad was his 93rd birthday. He was not in a hospital, he was home, but he was balled up in the bed, and he was small and looked frail. And that wasn't my dad.
Yeah.
That wasn't the dad I knew. I thought my dad was the toughest man on the planet.
Yeah.
You know, it hurt. I'm glad he's not in pain.
Yeah.
It hurts. Sometimes I feel guilty because I feel like I might even miss my dad more than I miss my mom. I mean, I love my mom.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was the only boy, so, you know, it was my dad,
Yeah.
you know.
Were you a believer then?
We
Or you
went
were
to church.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
yeah, we went to church and Methodist, and an old, beautiful church still stands today. Old church in Knoxville, Maryland. I think it was a Methodist church, Reverend Sparrow.
Have you had a chance to go on rally?
A couple times here.
Yeah. What's that like?
It's fun. I don't like going with Pastor Delbert because he always smiles. Cause I'm like, I don't want to give my testimony. He's like, yeah, and then he calls me. It's like, man, I get nervous when you know, when I'm teaching, I'm fine. But if I gotta do the SLR from the Berean,
Yeah.
I get super nervous. But when I'm teaching, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not hands on sweating. I'm not nervous or stuttering or anything. But if I got to do that SLR,
Yeah.
or if I got to stand up in front of a bunch of people and give my testimony, I'll think about everything I want to say. Oh, excuse me. Until it's time to do it, and then all that goes right out the window.
Yeah. Forget it.
I do not like talking in front of a bunch of people, you know. But I told Pastor Ron that one. I said, you know, I feel like I'm called to teach. And he said most all good preachers he know started out teaching,
Yeah.
you know.
What's it feel like after you share your testimony, though? So say the nerves are there and you do it.
It's.
Do you feel good?
I feel good. You know,
Yeah.
I remember when back in '96. I used to be on Pastor Sam's rally team.
Me too. A bomber.
And the Bombers, right?
Yeah.
I call him. We call him OB.
Yeah.
The original bomber. But it's. And Sister Sandy, who used to do what Pastor Delbert does,
Yeah.
used to run the music, and you'd have a rally team rehearsal. She had me singing a solo when the song was "I Go to the Rock," and I would do the solo, and people would get, "Oh, you have such a beautiful voice." I'm like, "You need to go get your hearing checked. Are you serious?" Because what I'm hearing sounds terrible.
Yeah.
But I think it was because you were singing for Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
So you were praising God, so it didn't matter,
I think God gave me a revelation about that. He said, or what? He said it was like watering a plant, and that you're not going to see the plant grow in front of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I expected to see like some reaction, I guess, when I would share.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of discouraged when we'd go into a school and there'd be like kids sleeping and on their phone. And I'd be like, man, I thought like I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah.
But when I realized, or like when he showed me that it's about like, man, you're speaking life over someone, you're watering them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was powerful for me.
Yeah.
And helped me.
Yeah, I think I don't mind. Well, yeah, I do. I do mind.
Yeah.
But I don't like it at all. But I'll do it. I'll be nervous,
Yeah.
but I'll do it. And I feel better after I've done it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, whew, okay, that's over.
Dude, I'm nervous doing this
Yeah.
every time I've done it,
Yeah, I'm a little. See, I don't mind that thing better than if there were eyeballs out there looking.
Oh.
People. Yeah, that's really no. Yeah.
Yo, Ken, you still eating those filled donuts? Those were our favorite, you and I.
I get them every once in a while, not as much as I used to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I still got to have munchies
That's right.
at night when I go to bed.
Hey, so I've ended with doing lift ups with people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm wondering if there's anyone you'd like to lift up.
Always my wife.
Yeah.
She told me to pray for her tonight because here in a few minutes, or if they haven't already started, she's got the victory test.
Yeah. What's that?
Memory
What's a victory
verses.
test?
Memory verses. The 66 book.
Yeah.
She's on her second memory verse test. And I know God is going to have her. She's just going to knock that out the park.
That's right.
Yes. So
Lift up
I
your
have
one.
faith that my baby's going to knock it out the park doing those memory verses. I like to lift up my sisters, my family, and my wife's family.
Praise God.
That through our example, they can all come to Christ.
Yeah.
I know some of them are believers, some of them aren't. And a lot of family, you can't tell them.
Yeah.
You got to show them.
Right.
Because they know us from so much
Yeah.
other garbage. No, they'd be like that now, but what they gonna do a couple months from now? So we have to be consistent.
It's got to be action.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Man, Ken, thank you so much for doing this. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. You're someone that I've looked up to. I've been inspired by. You've been a friend to me, a brother. I've just enjoyed your company. And like I said, from the moment I saw you, I felt accepted by you and loved. And I think guys need that. And I think you're in the best spot. I think Teen Challenge is blessed to have you here. And I'm believing you'll be here. I'm believing that they'll see
am.
your value and that God is going to give you a platform.
Yeah,
So,
I know God has got plans.
That's right.
Lord willing, it's here, but if not, I know He's got somewhere.
And I'm going to ask maybe viewers that they would pray for you and your wife consistently. That'd be
Yes,
cool.
Yes.
And what's her name again?
Carolyn.
Carolyn and Ken.
Yes.
And man, we look forward to just seeing what happens here and in your
Amen.
life. And thank you again.
Appreciate
I
it.
love you, Ken.
Love you too,
Come
bro.
on.
My man.
Appreciate you.
All right. Oh, boy.